Well, Marcus had this affair several years ago, and when Joni confronted him, they reached out to Fred and Anna Kendall.
Now, what I was looking for in Marcus, would he be transparent?
He opened up immediately. He was totally transparent.
Did these guys get real when they came in?
Yes. Well, the first thing I wanted to find out right away was, were they willing to work at it?
Now saying that unless Daystar pays them $7.5 million, that they're going to take our story that we just shared with you to the media.
Quick recap, everyone. Welcome back, faithful viewers. Let's dive right in. Marcus and Joni Lamb started from modest beginnings, driven by a vision to spread Christian teachings through television. Over the years, their hard work transformed that vision into Daystar, one of the world's largest Christian broadcasting networks, second only to one other global giant. Their network featured some of the most well-known Christian leaders, including Joel Osteen, Jesse Duplantis, Joyce Meyer, and Kenneth Copeland. Names familiar to millions of viewers. With Daystar's growth came wealth and privilege. Marcus and Joni live comfortably, enjoying mansions and family vacations on the network's private jet. Their children, Jonathan, Rachel, and Rebecca, were raised in this environment of faith and abundance, always surrounded by the perks of the family's success. After finishing university, each child was given an executive role within Daystar, and their spouses were also brought into the fold. The family's benefits went beyond just positions. They had company cars, and some even paid their mortgages to Daystar rather than a bank, ensuring their financial security was closely tied to the ministry. But beneath this polished surface, cracks began to appear. The first major scandal erupted when Marcus was revealed to have had a 7-year affair with the network's vice president of programming and sales. Instead of addressing the issue openly, Marcus and Joni initially lied to their viewers.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, the information came to us. They were trying to turn our pain into their gain. So we were both shocked and outraged that they would demand this much of God's money.
Only when sued by former employees did they acknowledge the affair, spinning a story that they were victims of blackmail demanding millions of dollars. They claimed they chose to confess to protect God's money from extortion and even appeared on the Dr. Phil show to share this narrative. While this scandal was unfolding, another lawsuit surfaced accusing Joni's father, Bill, who also worked at Daystar, of inappropriate behavior toward a female employee during so-called quiet time. This allegation added to the troubling revelations that predators might have been protected within the organization. To handle the fallout, Daystar brought on Doug Weiss, a Christian therapist and recovered sex addict, as a regular on-air contributor, openly discussing healing and addiction. Despite these efforts, the scandals didn't significantly damage the Lamb's control over the network. Inside Daystar, tensions grew. Rachel, the middle Lamb sibling, developed a reputation as a harsh leader who belittled staff and created a hostile work environment. Meanwhile, Jonathan's wife, Susie, was assaulted by an unlicensed chiropractor hired by Daystar. The incident was allegedly covered up, with Marcus and Joni paying off the perpetrator and instructing Susie to stay silent to protect the ministry's reputation. Jonathan was seen as the heir apparent, expected to one day lead Daystar, but the family's internal conflicts threatened that future. Joni was known to foster a culture of fear and suspicion within the organization. Former employees shared stories of Joni encouraging staff to spy on one another and report misdeeds, creating a toxic atmosphere akin to cult-like control. She hosted exclusive purse parties at her mansion for favored female employees, further deepening divisions among the staff. Marcus's influence extended beyond Daystar when he joined President Trump's Evangelical Advisory Board. Following Trump's election, Marcus and other evangelical leaders attended private White House dinners and participated in signing executive orders, including the weakening of the Johnson Amendment, which previously restricted churches from political activities. This placed Daystar at the heart of the intersection between religion and politics. Doug Weiss, the therapist who became a familiar face on Daystar, published Letters to My Daughter, sharing advice and lessons drawn from his personal struggles and faith. His book resonated with many, especially women seeking guidance. Yet behind the scenes, Daystar was struggling with serious issues. Family members who worked at Daystar witnessed troubling behavior by a relative who made inappropriate comments and acted disturbingly around a newborn child. Mark and Sarah, a couple employed at Daystar and part of the extended Lamb family, found themselves increasingly uncomfortable with this relative's behavior. Despite raising their concerns with Joni, they were dismissed. The relative's conduct escalated, including following Sarah into private spaces to change the baby's diaper, and even sitting silently by the baby's sleeping area during a movie night. When Mark and Sarah tried to distance themselves to protect their child, Joni accused them of sowing division and manipulated Mark to distrust Sarah. Eventually, the couple chose to leave Daystar and the family altogether. Joni's manipulation deepened as she pressured Mark to attend counseling with a therapist of her choosing, tried to pit him against his wife, and spread negative rumors about the couple within the family. Mark resisted and faced ostracization by other family members, eventually refusing to comply with Joni's demands. Meanwhile, Daystar continued broadcasting its uplifting content. Rachel and her fiancé Josh, a Christian musician from Australia, became prominent on the network, hosting shows and taking on leadership roles. Their lavish wedding in 2016 marked the continuation of the Lamb family's rising prominence within the ministry. The year 2020 brought new challenges with the COVID-19 pandemic. Daystar, led by Marcus and Joni, became known for spreading misinformation and anti-vaccine conspiracy theories. The network aired programs warning about vaccines, promoting unproven treatments, and accusing authorities of censorship. Despite this, Daystar received nearly $4 million in taxpayer funds through the government's Paycheck Protection Program to support employees during the pandemic. Shortly after, they purchased a luxury private jet and used it for family vacations, sparking public controversy. The darkest and most tragic part of this story involves allegations of child abuse within the family. A male relative, referred to as Pete, confessed to Jonathan's wife Susie that their young daughter had accidentally seen him naked. Soon after, the child revealed she had been abused by a man matching Pete's description. When Susie reported this to Joni, instead of involving law enforcement as required by law, Joni took the child aside privately. After that, the child stopped discussing the abuse, making legal investigation impossible. Susie and Jonathan, bound by family rules demanding all crises be reported only to Marcus and Joni, struggled to protect their child. The child's fear of Pete was obvious, especially when he was around Daystar's offices. Despite their efforts, the family leadership prioritized secrecy and protection of the ministry's image over justice and healing. Throughout all this, Daystar broadcasted messages of faith, healing, and love, while its leadership was embroiled in scandal, denial, and silence. The story of the Lamb family and Daystar is a complex one of ambition, faith, power, betrayal, and tragedy. It reveals how unchecked authority and loyalty to family and image can come at a devastating cost. This saga reminds us that behind the inspiring messages broadcast to millions, there can be painful and uncomfortable truths. It underscores the importance of accountability, transparency, and courage to confront wrongdoing, especially when it happens close to home. Big shout out and huge thanks to all the amazing fans of the Faith Unfiltered channel. Your support, comments, and energy keep this community alive and thriving. We couldn't do it without you. You're truly the heart of everything we do. Appreciate each and every one of you.